It was carved by Private August Bludner of the 32nd Indiana Infantry Regiment. It was carved near Munfordville, Kentucky, where the regiment camped after the Battle of Rowlett Station. The Battle of Rowlett Station took place on December 17th, 1861. The 32nd Indiana Regiment fought a regiment of Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers and one or two other regiments that I can't remember at the moment. And in the 32nd Indiana Infantry Regiment, 13 soldiers fell, and their names were carved on the line. 11 of those 13 soldiers were buried locally near Mumford, near the battle. And so, after the battle, Private August Bludner carved this monument out of the local outcrop of limestone and installed it over their remains. Now, after 5 years, in 1867, the Army was sending people across the South to locate the remains of soldiers who had died in battles like in the countryside, and exhuming the remains and bringing them back to national cemeteries. So in 1867, this monument and the remains of 11 of the 13 soldiers whose names are inscribed on the monument, they were all moved to Cave Hill National Cemetery here in Louisville. And at that time, the monument was installed upon its base. And the monument itself is inscribed in German. And then the base has a short English inscription.
What happened to Bludner?
Bludner completed his 3-year enlistment with the 32nd Indiana Infantry Regiment, which was composed entirely of German soldiers, which is why the inscription is in German. He completed his completed his 3-year enlistment. He mustered out and went back to Cincinnati, Ohio, and he continued to work there as a sculptor before he died in 1872, at the age of 46.
And this is the oldest known?
This is the oldest existing Civil War monument. There is a record of a monument being installed at the Battle of First Manassas in Virginia. That is a couple of months older than this monument, but that monument, the Manassas monument, was lost a year after it was installed when Union troops moved into the area. So this is the oldest existing Civil War monument.
And it was moved because of the elements, wear and tear.
It was moved because it had severely deteriorated in Cave Hill National Cemetery. Moving monuments out of cemeteries is something that we do not do very regularly, or it's extremely rare. We decided to do it with this particular monument because it has exceptional historic significance. And we brought it to the Fraser Museum to protect it from the elements and so that it could be preserved for future generations, and for them to learn about the sacrifices that these men made.
It's quite elaborate, isn't it?
Oh, it's extremely elaborate. August Bludner was a sculptor. He had trained as a sculptor in Germany before immigrating to the United States. And there is an elaborate frieze of an eagle with its wings outstretched, and it's clutching in its talons 2 American flags, and the eagle is flanked by clutching cannonballs and a oak leaf on one side and an olive sprig on the other.
How long would it have taken him to do something like this, do you estimate?
The funny thing about this is that August Bludner carved this in probably a little over a month. And the process of moving the monument from the cemetery, conserving it, and then moving it back here has taken 2 years, which is kind of our year and a half.
All right, well,